Welcome back. As students in their final leg of primary and secondary school prepare to write common entrance and CXC exams, concerns have been raised as to whether these students are adequately prepared to move on to new academic levels. Education Minister Dr. Gail Rigobert says despite the pandemic, the St. Lucia education system is doing well and that grade 6 students will have the fundamental tools to move on to secondary school education.
In-class instruction in St. Lucia has been continuously interrupted for the past year due to the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic. As students once again prepare to sit regional and national examinations, questions are being raised as to whether these students are ready for not just taking the exams, but to move on to higher learning, particularly as it relates to the transition from primary school to secondary school. Minister for Education Dr. Gail Rigobert insists that the education system in St. Lucia is holding up a lot better than many other countries.
We in St. Lucia, we have done very well compared to many other jurisdictions. Perhaps it is one of the examples of where a small size can prove to be an advantage because you're more nimble, you're more malleable, you can always reset, start again, revisit, revise, review, revamp, and go again. And that is what we've been doing because this is new to everybody. I can say to you that while the conversation tends to revolve around students who are in the various examination classes, such as your grade 6 students who are earmarked to write common entrance, or your 5th formers who are earmarked to write CXC, there is a broader concern about all our students.
She says the fear is that students will not be prepared to move on to higher grades or in the case of grade 6 students to secondary school, while understandable, is not the case.
What we have had to do in terms of an education recovery plan and revamping what it is that we do to reflect what is happening with COVID is to ensure that we deliver to our students the core competencies, the knowledge that is key to their development at that stage in their lives. And as far as is feasible, we've endeavored to remain true to that. And, it's interesting to the extent that we recognize for a long time whether it is that we've been over-teaching. And by that, are we burdening students with more than they ought to know at any given point in their academic career? And therefore, in having to scale back, that we are not in effect cheating any child, but ensuring that that child has the core competency, the core knowledge concepts for that particular age group.
Dr. Rigobert explained that despite the circumstances being confronted with due to COVID-19, the education sector is meeting the needs of students and they are being given the fundamentals to continue with their academic journey. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
Meanwhile, the Education Minister assures parents of grade 6 students that the common entrance examination will reflect only what has been taught to students.
The Minister with responsibility for education, Dr. Gail Rigobert, has informed that the format for the 2021 Common Entrance examination will be similar to that of 2020. Dr. Rigobert says this was unavoidable due to the continued impact of COVID-19 on the education sector.
In the same way, last year we were forced to revisit the modality for the Common Entrance exam, where we resorted to a Common Entrance paper only. The same is likely to obtain this year given the challenges that we have. And again, it is a response to and being fully cognizant of the challenges regarding the delivery of the syllabus and students congregating to write an exam, and how therefore we minimize interaction and exposure so that we can keep our students safe even while they write the exam.
Parents have raised concern as to whether they believe students are adequately prepared to undertake the exams as the entire syllabus has not been taught. The minister says parents need not worry, given that all of these have been thoroughly considered.
I want to reassure parents again that the exam that the students receive is in alignment with what would have been taught. So a student will not be examined or tested on concepts that have not been taught. So there is direct alignment with that which is taught and that which appears on the test.
The common entrance examination is slated for June 30th, 2021. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzalez.
The State of Radio St. Lucia, once the national radio station, has recently raised concerns over the fate of the history stored in the building. Broadcast and Information Minister Dominic Fede is addressing those concerns, giving his assurance that the government is eyeing the facility and has formulated plans to save the valuable information housed there.
A fire has been lit under the seats of the government of St. Lucia, spurring them to want to take action towards the preservation of St. Lucia's archives from Radio St. Lucia, RSL. This revelation was made after a video was posted to social media last week, highlighting the deplorable state of the station that houses some of the island's last audio history. Broadcast and Information Minister Dominic Fede indicated that all hope is not lost and that the government is making the special effort to preserve the archives.
I could tell you that our government is committed to ensuring that for posterity reasons, all of our historic archaeological information and record and evidence is kept intact and safeguarded. And I want to assure you, Sheffield, that we're doing everything possible to make sure that we safeguard our archaeological information for many generations to come.
Fede said the vital information stored at the station is an important tool to help shape the nation.
We are of the view that this information is no doubt going to be what is necessary to help our people to understand where we have come from as a country and where we're going, and to make them understand the purpose and to make them understand the destiny of our country.
The state-owned radio station, which was in operation from 1972 to 2017, was decommissioned and placed into liquidation by the Alan Chasney-led administration. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Thank you, Rochelle. Stay with us. There's more news coming up after the break.